Yes, the vote. Yes, it was a very 544 votes. This is a real moment, guys. Come on. Referendum. It's a referendum. You not have no guarantees.
Bit of a strange morning. So there's a bit of a press circus here outside the Supreme Court because today is when a so-called landmark Supreme Court case is going on to do with Brexit, and there's a lady called Gina Miller who is going to be, pushing a challenge to the Brexit vote in the Supreme Court, and that's why all the press are hanging up, and there's her paid agitators on top of a double-decker bus. So there's Gina Miller going into the High Court, getting like a round of applause even from members of the press. So I thought they were supposed to be impartial, but I guess not. Or maybe they're just happy because something exciting is happening. I mean, there was supposed to be something very exciting happening today because there was supposed to be a massive protest and counter-protest, the left and the right battling it out in the street, but it all got called off and cancelled, essentially because they were worried about violence. Instead, a sort of miniature protest was organised for yesterday. So, is it looking a bit quieter now? I don't know, because it's yesterday now, apparently yesterday. And I'm going to head around the corner here, because I believe there might be a protest going on today. There might be. I mean, there's already, like, police officers in blue, negotiation jackets looking a bit weird. So, they don't like to be filmed too much, I guess. But, we'll see what's happening. Maybe nothing at all. What, to the road?
Yeah, I was going to get run over.
They didn't hit me. They're trained not to run people over,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're smart, but there's a green light.
There is a need to be smart.
Well, there is.
It's important.
Try not to get yourself run over.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for that. God, that guy is so upset. Nobody knows why. He's going to have a bad day, apparently. Facebook post said at 11 o'clock. George V statue is here. Nobody here at all. Maybe the Brexit movement is dead. Who knows? So whilst we're waiting for possibly nothing to happen at all, I want to talk about something that happened the other day. I don't know if you saw it, but in that wonderful insiders village called St James's Square. The other day, Boris Johnson, the Foreign Secretary, made some interesting comments on what he was calling global Britain, sort of a vision of what Britain is going to be doing once it leaves the European Union. And he made some, he was dropping some interesting code words to do with the global order, which was quite interesting.
For a liberal international order of the rules-based international order, rules-based liberal order of a global liberal order, the rules-based international order.
It would be very easy to say, look at the code language that Boris Johnson's doing. Instead of saying New World Order, like Daddy Bush used to say, he's saying, global liberal order or liberal international order. But actually I don't think it was the main speech that he made that had the code language in it. I think it was in the questions and answers session afterwards when he was asked a few telling questions and he gave the correct answers, he was asked who was his favourite foreign minister from times past, and he said George Nathaniel Curzon, and he said,
"My cheeks are pink, my hair is sleek. I dine at Blenheim twice a week."
Which was code language. If you know enough about the British arm of the conspiracy, you may understand what that means. It's called a Balliol rhyme. Something originated in Balliol College, Oxford, of which Boris Johnson is a graduate, and also Curzon was a graduate. And if you've read any of the stuff by Carol Quigley, you'll know that Balliol College is one of the insiders' colleges, one of the things that creates insiders for the Imperial project. So it was Boris letting everybody know that no matter what he might say to the public, not under Chatham House rules, he possibly is really working for them. To be honest, it's probably just as well that this is not like a people-led movement, but instead sort of a behind closed doors backroom deal, because that's not a particularly strong contingent. The narky police officers still here, though, giving those narky looks to everybody. So yeah, I'm just about done here, so I'll go back to where I was earlier, I guess, by just placing my camera down here. Well, it just goes to show that the left-right paradigm is a complete fake, doesn't it? Because the protest that was here yesterday, did you see what it said on their literature? The Communist Party are apparently they want to leave the European Union. That doesn't seem like communism to me. The Communist Party is a fraud. The second most senior judge in England and Wales is going to be holding his jurisdiction over the Supreme Court case today. And just to let you know a little bit about him, he used to work for NM Rothschilds. Just to let you know, I'm sure it's not important, but sometimes I do think that possibly the City of London are one of the more influential voices in the entire set of shenanigans. But of course we're led to believe that it's a people's movement.
Brexit is racist, stop Brexit now! Brexit is racist, stop Brexit now! Brexit is racist, stop Brexit now! Brexit is racist.
Oh God, I'm literally catching AIDS just by listening to those protesters. Fucking. Maybe that's actually what it's designed to do to my head, to make me sort of upset and call them libtards. Maybe that's what it is. It's interesting, isn't it, that the anti-Brexit protest is allowed to be right outside the Supreme Court, but the pro-Brexit protest was relegated to a completely different day and sort of disorganised, so nobody turned up. I think I have a bit of a different opinion to most alternative news people out there as to what Brexit is all about. I personally think that Brexit is definitely going to happen. I mean, you may be watching this after the Supreme Court makes a jurisdiction, and I may be completely wrong, but personally, I believe that Brexit is designed to happen, but not to maintain the supremacy and the sovereignty of the Parliament, nor to respect the democratic decision of the people, but instead to protect the sovereignty of the City of London. And I truly believe that the City of London are the ones who wanted to exit the European system. What the hell? I was Gina's paid agitator bus is now disappearing.
Brexit is racist! Stop Brexit now! Brexit is racist! Stop Brexit now!
Liberal scumbags! Liberal scumbags! Live in the real world!
Stop Brexit now!
We can't see that in terms of a government project, that's just the perfect outcome. You've essentially segregated and divided the people into two groups. You've told them what to argue on either side, and they're just parroting and repeating everything you've told them. And essentially the government just gets what they want, which is just the status quo and business as usual. It's a thing called the Great Repeals Bill, which by all accounts will mean that if and when Britain does trigger Article 50, that all of the European laws that will be abolished essentially will just be replaced as a mirrored version in British law. And of course in the international global system there is a thing called legal harmonisation, which just means that countries that are sort of allied militarily and philosophically harmonise laws throughout different countries, meaning that there's really no difference between being in Europe and being out of Europe, because the same old game just carries on anyway. So, you know, what's the difference? There is no difference, and hopefully now you understand why I refused to vote.